The Falcon Attack Strategy is huge at Town Hall 10 right now, and we're going to show you a couple of examples of it, as well as Lavaloon and Hog Rider attacks 6-pack beasts here at Elite Gaming. If you want to join us, the Discord link is on the screen there right now. All of these replays are from our CWL matchup against Warzone. Starting out this first Falcon attack, used balloons and haste spells to take out a couple of defenses in the south. That just basically helps with the funnel that we're setting here. With the Falcon attack, you can use a queen walk very effectively to come in behind the Valkyries, and the main reason for that is because the Valkyries are so fast under rage. They run ahead of the queen and help to protect her. She helps to set that funnel, and then you can use her at the end of the raid as well. As the Valkyries come forward, no jump spells are needed, guys. You can rage the Valkyries right the way through the base. As you can see, it actually works out nicely because it just shreds apart the walls for your queen to come in behind. Now, you do want to try and find bases that are nice and compact, that you can get the Valkyries in there and take them defenses down. Rage spells and heal spells, again, very similar to the Bow Witch attack strategy. You want to use early on when you have a lot of Valkyries left. You don't want to be saving them spells to when there's hardly any Valkyries left over. So get them in early, get the Valkyries in there, taking down them thick defenses, and what you'll find is you'll then overwhelm the base towards the back end. Queen here still with the ability, again, that is beautiful with the Falcon attack, that the Valkyries just charge ahead, protect that queen. As long as you've set that funnel correctly, you should be good to go. And even sometimes your Valkyries can walk around the outside. It can still work, guys, as long as some of the key principles are there. You've chose the correct base design. We'll show you that in a second. I actually want to give you a bit of variety on this as well. Massive shout out to our players. We had a bunch of Town Hall 10 versus 10 6-packs in this war. Massive shout out to DJ and Sully as well. They both got 6-packs as well, but we aren't featuring their attacks here. Next, we move on to Ryan with his Lavaloon attack, and these are amazing. Just check out this. His second attack as well, which we will feature towards the end, is equally as impressive. Starts out with, again, the queen charge, queen walk. The strategy is just perfect at Town Hall 10 to kind of sync up into them other strategies. King is going to create the funnel on the right hand side, and you can see exactly where we're sending the queen here, right into this compartment where we can get a single target inferno, the enemy queen, but also some wizard towers. Now, guys, depending on the strategy you're using, your objectives might change, and a lot of the time the wizard towers will actually be quite high on your priority list. You'll see later down the list here, we actually prioritize wizard towers over inferno towers on them Hog Rider attacks. But anyway, this one is Lavaloon. Queen charge has been set up beautifully here. The king sacrificially around the top of the base created that funnel to send the queen where we want. Now, if you can, try and protect that queen. She's going to help you with cleanup. Maybe you miss one or two defenses at the end. She might be able to get in and take it down. So in comes the Lavaloon portion from the right. Again, haste spells right onto them balloons. Get them behind the lava hounds as quickly as possible so they are protected again. Coming in from the south with the balloons, I've commentated so many times, haven't I? It's all about the pathing of the balloons. These defenses on the outside here can steer your balloons out of the way. You want them to concentrate their fire through the base onto them heavy defenses that you need taken down. Towards the end here, a beautiful heal spell when the balloons are clumping up towards that wizard tower. Lava pups and minions are always used to clean up, but once you've taken out defenses on one side, make sure to get their minions straight in. The last thing you want is a 99% 2-star because you didn't quite get the minions in quick enough. So beautiful attack there. Let's move down to a Hog Rider Ash pack for this one. Again, 6-pack, all of the attacks shown here. We have one Falcon attack actually, which wasn't from a 6-pack attacker, but I believe we had about 5 players that 6-packed at Town Hall 10. Very, very impressive. Really wanted to give them a shout out. But anyway, Ashpack coming in for this one. This is what we were talking about in terms of priority. We want the Queen down, we want the CC down, but equally the Wizard Towers here are some of our focus. Next to them Wizard Towers there's some gaps, isn't there? Next to the single target Infernos. You could probably assume that there's going to be giant bombs sitting there. Take out the defenses, Hog Riders don't even have to track to that area. So as the CC goes down, the Queen is going to continue to step forward here. Does have to use the ability. Luckily, she can get to them Wizard Towers and get them down. And from there, target the single target Inferno first, guys. Hog Riders come in. Had we have been able to get them in a tad quicker, might have been able to protect the Queen. Don't know how far she would have got, but as you can see, doesn't matter. Heal spells come in just in case there are any giant bombs. It would have made sense next to the bomb tower doing splash damage, but there wasn't. It was covered. As you can see, they're actually hiding on the outside of the base as well. As the Hogs continue to come through, this area doesn't look too bad because there's a lot of air defense, but actually there are a lot of point defense there, and the Hog Riders are susceptible in that area. So another heal spell gets used. Really, we didn't have a massive kill squad. We carved the path for the Hog Riders to get around the base, and from that point, all of the heals could be used on the Hogs. Very, very nice use of the heal at the end there, right when it was needed next to the Wizard Tower and the giant bombs. Like we said, we could assume that is where they were going to be. So the Wizard Towers in that area was actually far superior to take down than the single Inferno. As we were just mentioning in the last raid, the cleanup troops are in. Goblins, wizards, they're in there as soon as the defenses are down and starting that clean up phase. The last thing you want is to run out of time because you haven't got them clean up troops in quick enough. So there you are, another beautiful 3-star. Let's move on to the second Falcon attack before we show you the second attacks from these players. So I believe it was base number 9, and this is one that we said as well doesn't quite get it as perfect in terms of the Valkyries walking right the way through the base, but still gets the job done. They get the core hollowed out enough that we can finish it off. So again, the Queen Walk is a beautiful strategy in order to implement into the Falcon attack, because the Valkyries protect the Queen, and you'll see why it's so important in this one actually. Nice funnel already set up to the top of the base. The Queen is going to walk clockwise around the base, and we've set the funnel down in the south here in order for them to run in. Amazingly, the Valkyries do come back out, but that's not until later on. So it's actually quite nice that the CC troops lure the Valkyries that little bit further across. They can start taking out the wall there and getting into the base, again protecting that Queen. Look at them all charging forward here, trying to get to the Queen. Gets the clan castle done, but it's just the fact that they kind of come down to the bottom here towards this elixir storage, and then half of them are wanting to come out of the base. Because of that, has to quickly adapt, get the skeleton spell onto the single target Inferno to try and protect that Queen. She is the main thing keeping this raid alive right now. If we can get that single target Inferno, the Valkyries will be more than good enough to get through to these bases at the top. Bases, defenses, what is wrong with me in this video? Anyway, moving through, Valkyries are continuing to get the defenses on the outside because there are a lot of defenses there. Still has that heal spell used right next to the Wizard Tower. We can assume that there are going to be some giant bombs or something like that in that area. It would make sense. The raid spell continues to help the Valkyries forward, and because the Queen was able to get down, the single target Inferno continues to come through the base. And what do you know? The Valkyries decided to go AWOL and walk around the outside of the base, but we still get the 3 stars. That is the power of the attack strategy. Let me know if you've used it down in the comments section. Let's show you the final attacks of our other 6-pack attackers, coming back to Ryan and his beautiful Lavaloon strategy. This one, like we said, equally as impressive as the first. As the Queen comes in right from the south here, just notice the value that we get, and 7 wall breakers, Basically, you'll see in a second, we need to get into the single target Inferno and the Queen. Sometimes you have to overcompensate on the wall breakers, I would say, just to make sure that you get into that compartment, because if you don't, that is it. The raid might be done. There might be no way of actually altering it. So I really like the use of this single Hog Rider just to lure the CC. We might as well do that whilst the Queen isn't under a lot of fire here. If you can do that, the last thing you would want to do is get into a battle with the CC troops right in this area where the Queen is susceptible to the single target Inferno, things like that. Take it out while you can. If you can use a single troop to lure it, it is going to be advantageous. King is going to set the funnel, and you can see here where we want the Queen to come in. Again, you can see use of that kind of scout balloon in order to try and set off any traps. Doesn't quite work in this one, but it's always worth it if your healers are going to an area where they think they might be. Here is them wall breakers, just about gets that area open, but you can see how vital it is. We need to get into this single target Inferno to the Queen, equally to the Wizard Tower as well. Going to get lots of value here, and had we have not got in towards that area, then this would have been a whole lot trickier for the Lavaloon. Queen is going to be able to step forward, get this done, only just mind, takes out that Wizard Tower. Even if the single didn't go down, not the end of the world, but gets very fortunate. It was just about to ramp up there. But the Lavaloon then comes in behind the air sweeper. Queen is safe at this point with the healers. Might as well get the Lavaloon in from the other side. And this is just a slayer of an attack. Absolutely drives this base into the ground. Balloons absolutely everywhere. No splash damage left. Lots of defenses in this area, but haste spells left over as well. A few balloons for the back end right onto these Teslas. Honestly, such an impressive attack. But you can see how the pivot point was really the wall breakers coming in to allow the Queen into that section. Had that have not gone right, then the attack would have certainly been over, in my opinion. Who knows? I mean, there was lots of balloons left. They might have got over there. There was a Wizard Tower. There was the Queen. Certainly might not have been as impressive anyway, but there we are. We will get to the next two attacks here, then wrap up the video. Really wanted to show you these guys putting out the best attacks that we had. I mean, I can't believe we lost this war. We had Warzone at Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10, even Town Hall 11 most of the war, losing out at the very end where they just got that one extra Town Hall 11 triple. We got 2, they got 3. Unfortunately, we got a 99% as well. We had them on percent. So unfortunate. You will have seen that in my video, Lavaloon at Town Hall 11. But anyway, Ashpack in with the Hog Riders again. Nice to see these guys kind of using their strength, their favourite attack strategies to take down the bases that they feel comfortable with. You know, this one is quite a tight compact base as well, so arguably could have been used for the Falcon. I didn't quite attack it myself, obviously, but Ashpack using the Hog Riders to get it done, coming in with his kill squad to take out a massive section here. CC is down, and you can see how the Golem is basically, you know, is going to try and tank a little bit. So we hold back on the Hog Riders here. Why not use that Golem? We have an Expo here which is just about to lock onto the Golem. Let that get through the wall. Then when the Expo locks onto it, we're protecting the Hog Riders just that little bit. So that is the idea here. And then when we can assume that it's just about to get through, Hog Riders come through. Golem is now going to tank for these defenses, and it works out beautifully actually that Golem was left over. I mean, just fantastic stuff, to be honest, to protect the Hog Riders so much. I mean, look at that, both of the Expos, Wizard Tower, so many defenses tanked onto that Golem. Hog Riders able to just sneak in, and with the heal spells, they just annihilate this base. Again, so many of them left over. Getting down to the final defense here, you can see the heal spell comes in right onto that single target Inferno. Wizard Tower is down, cleanup troops are in. A beautiful textbook attack. Well, not really even textbook. It was so advanced, textbooks wouldn't have that in. So there you are, Ashpack. Beautiful stuff. Final attack of the video here then. Let's show you Hendry, the person that brought you the attack earlier on. let's show you his second attack, his Lavaloon, and yeah, he absolutely wipes this one. The one person that used a couple of different strategies featured in the video here, using the Falcon and then the Lavaloon. Anyway, coming in towards that queen. If you don't have a plan for the queen mid-raid, you really want to be trying to take her out as part of your kill squad. Gets a lot of value in terms of point defense here as well. Obviously there's archer towers, 2 air defense coming in. The queen is the main focus here. Once that is down, our archer queen is going to step forward, get a couple of other things, but honestly, even if the air defense were to stay up here, it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world. We can come in and take that down. So one of them goes down. I mean, beautiful that the queen steps around and takes out the second there as well. Just a perfect, I mean, look at how many that was. That was the perfect amount of troops for what was needed. How often do you see that? Straight onto that single target inferno. You can see how the troops will kind of swoop around the base. These wizard towers though, we want to close in from every angle. We don't want our balloons circling around and then finally getting to them. So that is why the balloons come in from the western side of the base quite early on, and then the spells, the main spells in that of the rage spell, the one worth 2, and the heal spell, used over that area where the wizard towers were, where there was a lot of damage. Balloons then circle and clean up the rest of the base. One final haste spell to get onto that single target inferno. Minions and lava pups, as we said, cleaning up, and that basically wraps it up for this Town Hall 10 video. Showed you plenty of attacks today, more than usual. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, peace out.